Welcome to my channel. So in this video, we're going to be looking at the problems or the errors that people encounter, especially when you are using TypeScript and you find out that you cannot even access the Ethereum EVM API inside the browser. So what usually happens is that when people type window, when they try to access the Ethereum API in the window, you know, window.ethereum, it gives them this problem. You get this problem does not exist on window type of blah blah blah. So basically, in this quick video, we're gonna look at how we can actually set that up and then make it work. So the first thing, I'm actually using Next.js, but it's a TypeScript. So I'm just gonna say const home page, and then I'm gonna set up the home page really quick. Right, then we're gonna have the function and we can return a div. Can just return a div, right? And inside the div we can just leave that. So we're gonna write our function right now. So our function is to connect a wallet to the MetaMask. So we're just gonna say const connect wallet, okay, right? And then we're just going to have this function to run like this. So inside this function, we're gonna do just a little stuff, just 5 lines of code, I guess. So, but before you do that, you need to import a use date, import use date, okay, because we need to set some state actually. So we're gonna import use date from React, okay. And having done that, we need to also install npm install. We need to also install web3. So you need to install web3. I've already installed web3 on my computer, so I don't need to do that. But in your own case, make sure you install web3, please. Web3. Okay, so if that is installed on your computer, then you can import it. But don't worry, we are going to import it when we get there. So in this case now, the first one we want to write in our function, in our connect wallet function, is going to be, so what we want to do is that we want to find a type first. So we're just going to say if type of window dot, I'm sorry, if type of window is not equal to undefined, okay, and then we want to also do the same to check for the type of the Ethereum API that we want to access. I mean the EVM API that we want to access. So we're just gonna say and type of window dot Ethereum is not equal to undefined. Okay, now as you can see, we have that error. We have this one shouting at us. It says Ethereum does not exist on type window, but don't worry, we're going to solve that real quick. It's a very simple thing. Okay, so if this window is not equal to undefined, then we can start with our process. So what we want to do is that we then the first thing you want to do, if everything is not returning undefined, so the first thing you want to do is that you want to actually create a kind of uh, request to be able to access the EVM, the Ethereum's API in the browser. So how you do that is you are definitely just going to say, so you can say window dot Ethereum, my window does Ethereum keep shouting dot request, okay, dot request. So inside the request, it's going to take a an object. So you put an object inside it, and then inside the object you have the method. This is the type of API that you want to access in the browser. So you are then now going to like do like a kind of JSON, and inside that you're going to have ETH underscore it is very important that you have your ETH in lowercase. And then the next thing is going to be request. It is also very important that you have your request in lowercase. And then you can then now say account. Okay, and then you can then now say account. And this is going to pretty much give us access to the EVM, the Ethereum's API in the browser. And once you have the, but oh my God, this is an async function. Since it's just like we are awaiting the kind of data from the backend. So what we want to do is that every async function must await. You know, you have to await this because we don't know when the promise is going to resolve. So we have to just await that. Okay, and then after that, once you have been able to unlock access to the browser's API that is going to allow you to manipulate or use the AVM's API, then you can then just get the instance. So what you want to do is that you're just going to say const web3 instance equals, you can call it an instance, you can call it an object. An instance is the same thing as object. Inside the object, you will have plenty things. So usually when you in JavaScript, when you're trying to use a class, and let's say you have class of people, and inside this class you want to create each person, and this is person one. Okay, this is person one because person one is going to be new. This is going to be like a new class. It's going to be new people. You understand? It's going to be like new people. So inside these people, you're going to create a new object. If you want to create another person, it's going to be person two, and that one too will also point to the people class. So that is how you create new object inside a class in JavaScript. So in object-oriented programming, you know that rather than you having to define each attribute of every object in a class, which is going to be time wasting, you can just define all the attribute once and then just call a new object every time you need another object with the same attribute. So that's basically what you do in this one too. So we call it instance. You can call it instance, you can call it an object. So in this video, I'm just calling it an instance because I just like to call it that way. But know that instance is an object that has a lot of attributes that you can access. So to get a new instance of Web3, so you're just going to you need the Web3 that we installed here. Now we're going to use it. We're just going to say import Web3 from Web3. Okay, and then we're going to use this Web3 to create a new instance. So it's just going to be new Web3, and then we're going to create a new instance of the window.ethereum. Okay, and then once we have that solved, and then we can let me try to reduce my screen a little bit so that my code does not get into the screen. Right, so now we can then we have const a web instance equals new web3. Now we have created this instance. This is an object containing different attributes. We can get anything from this instance right now, but what I want to get in this one is it's just the account. So I can just say const account. Since we are also accessing, you see, one thing you notice that every time we access the API, the browser's API, we have to use await because we don't know when the promise is going to resolve. So in this case too, I want to access account inside this web instance that I've gotten. So I'm just going to say await, okay, web3 instance dot eth. You can call it whatever you want. You can call this web3 instance whatever you want. You can call it web3 object or whatever. Just know that it contains so many attributes. So I'm just going to say dot eth dot I'm just going to call this function get account. As you can see, I have so many things that I can call, but in this case I'm just going to say get account. You can get their balance, You can get their block number, everything. But now I just want to get all their accounts. Okay, so this thing is going to return all the users' accounts for me, but I'm only interested in just his active account. Okay, now I have access to all his accounts, but I'm only interested in only his active account. So I'm just going to say count active wallet. So I'm just going to say, then since this account is an array, and array, you can use indexes to, to traverse within the array to check, to get whatever you want to get. So I have the account. I have all these accounts of array of accounts, but I don't need all his accounts. I only need just his active account. So which is going to give me the first one. So whatever active accounts that you are using on MetaMask, that's going to be your first account. And that's exactly what this thing is targeting. Okay, so I think we are done. So now let's solve the Ethereum window blah 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 problem. So I'm gonna increase my screen. So to solve this problem, what you want to do is that you want to go to the topmost part of your code of your page. So see, I'm at the top. I'm almost at the top. And what you're going to do is you're just going to write declare const window, and then you're going to declare it as any. After that, everything will vanish. Everything will vanish after that. You see that all the troubles have now gone. Now we don't have any trouble again. See, I left something there. Let me just remove that. Now we don't have any trouble here now. So our code can actually run perfectly now. Now we have actually called these intents. We've gotten back the accounts and we know the want. Now we have access to the user's active wallet. And then I can then make a button that we need to click on. So we're going to do this button. We're going to use our regular button. We're just going to say connect wallet, right? So inside this connect wallet, now let's just start our application and see if he's looking at npm run dev. So I'm just going to start the application right now. Right, and then we're just going to check this out and see if we are working. Local host 3000. Okay, and then let's see how it works. The default export is not a React component. Okay, the default export is not a React component. Right, let me see what's going on here. Oh, okay, we did not export React component. So I'm gonna say export default home page. Okay, and that's gonna solve the problem. Okay, now our default export is now a React component. So we can go back to this place and then we have, as you can see, we have our connect wallet button there, but it's hiding. So I want to move it to the, let me move it to, I'm using TypeScript, so I can just say class name. I can just flex it and then I can say flex color actually. And then I can say justify to center. And then for my button, I would like to have something like a BG blue 500, and then what else? Let me say rounded 2XL PY2 PX. I mean the PY means up and down, PX is left and right. So I want to add the margin internally, which is going to be P2. Then this is going to make sure our button is in the middle, and I don't want it to be touching the screen at the top, so I can just push it down a little bit. I can push it down by 3, right? And yeah, that should solve it for now, right? Right. So we have our button. Our button is crazily big right here. Okay, so anyways, let's just see. This is our button. So if we click it now, nothing happens. Okay. So what happened is that we are going to we did not handle this thing though. So basically, um if if the Metamask is not installed, what should happen? Let me just say, let me create a state for a message to be cons message set message. Right. So if Metamask is not installed, we're going to send the message to the user about what is going on. So we're going to then call this a string. That's going to be the type. All right. So we can then go back and say else if that means if this condition is not fulfilled, the type of window is not undefined, then that means there's no way we can actually have access to the EVM API in the browser. So we're just going to set message that please install, please ensure that MetaMask is installed. All right, so we can do that. And then I think our function is ready right now. So I can just go to my button and then say that okay, I can put this one down and bring this one down, this one too down, and then I can say on click, I can just say connect. I'm just gonna fire that function right there. So every time the user clicks that button, it's going to fire that function. Okay, so if the user has installed MetaMask, it's going to fire this function. Otherwise, it's going to fire this. It's going to send this message to the user. So I can put this message below below the below the button actually, right? So we can just say message this. So we can just return this message. So now let's go back to our stuff. We can refresh and then I can click on the button. Please ensure that MetaMask is installed. Okay, so it means that MetaMask is not installed on this browser. Now let me go and try this in a browser that the MetaMask has been installed, right? So we can then go like this. Let me drag my, hold on one second. Let me drag my, all right, so this is a browser that the MetaMask has been installed. So as you can see, let me try to make this. Now let us fire this function here now. So I'm gonna click on this. All right, so I think it's not firing. Let's see why it is not firing here. Let me see. Let me see if there's any error message that we are getting connected. Okay, it's just not firing. So I can just go back to the code and see what's going on. On click, connect wallet. Okay. Did I save? I'm not sure. Okay, so let me go back and click on this. Oh, sorry, I'm still firing the right. Let's see what's going on. Okay, I see what is going on. I've previously connected my application, okay, to this. So what I'm going to do is like I need to disconnect it first, okay? So I want to connect my demo account. So I need to disconnect, okay? Now that I've been disconnected now, okay, that's why. So I can then click on this and then you can see it fires and then I can just connect this and then connecting and it's connected. But now we're not even showing the user anything that is connected. So I can create some other states, and then I can just say that um, const is connected. Okay, set is connected. Okay, and then we can say use state. We can set it to false. Oh, it's going to be, can set the state to false. Okay, and then we can set the type to boolean. Oh, sorry, the boolean. Okay, and then we can say we can come back to the button, and then we can say that where's the button? Okay, this is the button right here. So we can say that if we can just make this dynamic anyways. So I'm gonna put it inside an object, right? So I'm just gonna say if it's connected. If it's connected, I'm gonna copy this button actually. Okay, if it's connected, just show connected, or you can just show disconnect. Otherwise, show connect to wallet. So what is gonna happen is that once the let me make this align. All right, so once the user is connected, it's going to show disconnect button. But if the user is not connected, it's going to show connect wallet. So now how do we now change the state? So I'm going to go into the function. At this point, I think we have already gotten the account. We have access to all these accounts here. So we can just say set is connected to true. So once it's set it connected to true, it is disconnect button that is going to show. And then since we have access to his wallet, I can just create another state and say const user wallet. Okay, then we can set user wallet. We can just set the user wallet. Then the state is going to be, let's just say now, since we have to await response from the server or from the browser API. So we're going to set the initial state to null, and then if there is this, then we can then set the user wallet to a active wallet. Okay, that's not a string. User wallet to okay, that's a string. If that is a string, then we can just change it to string then, right? And that's gonna fix the type. We can even go ahead to say this is going to be a string, okay, right? So as to comply with the type. Okay, so now we can then come here that if there is if user wallet is known, then we can display his wallet. We can say we can have it in here and say your wallet address is, then we can inside this object we can then say user wallet. As a matter of fact, we can say if user wallet, then display the user wallet, else don't display anything. Okay, right. So we can then go back to our stuff. This is not going to work because we are connected now. Okay, as you can see, it has worked anyways. If I click it again, it's not going to work again because it is connected. We have to disconnect it first, or we can find a way to disconnect it programmatically. but we're not going to do that in this video. So your wallet address is this. This is exactly what is showing me. So with that, we've been able to finish. You can actually resolve the problem, and I believe you have been able to pick more knowledge on how to even, work with AVMs in the browser. I'll see you soon.